Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings, everyone. How are you guys doing? Welcome in, welcome in. If you are watching the playback of this, we will go through like our normal sharing and things of that nature. So you may need to kind of jump forward, but we are going to discuss Silhouette Studio, Canva, and Photoshop. This is the series that I'm on. We're probably on like for the duration of June, because I think that it's very important for those in the craft or creative space um, to understand each of these programs. Well, at least whatever programs you use, these are the three that I use. So I want you to understand these and just how utilizing multiple programs and understanding what these programs major functions are and what their pros are, what the downsides of them are, can help you in your creative journey, whether you are creating to make things for like your business, like your, to help you make the end product. If you're wanting to go digital, it's important to understand. But in this creative space that we are in, design is the foundation. Like there is nothing that you can make without some sort of like design, right? And whether you are using templates and you simply just need to resize them, change out a name, change out a color, if you want a certain effect on it because you have the bones of it and you just want to enhance it, you still have to know how to do that and which programs can accomplish that for you. So the entire month, we've just basically been going through these three programs because they are my top three programs that I use. I do use a little bit of Illustrator as well, but Silhouette Studio, number one, and then Canva and Photoshop are interchangeable as far as number two and number three. They don't really have a hierarchy for me because each of them serves a different purpose, but just the reason why Silhouette is like my number one, my go-to is the versatility. I understand that there are limitations to it, but there's so many things that are great about it. So even if I'm just trying to put together concepts and things of that nature, it's my go-to. I find that it is the easier platform for me to really brainstorm in and even create and complete some amazing, amazing, amazing designs. And then I just might go into other programs, like I said, just for certain elements or just for certain enhancements. So today continues that this series on comparing or just taking, I won't say compare, but just taking a really good look at Silhouette Studio, Canva, and Photoshop and what it can offer you in your creative journey, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get my share on. I am the only person producing this show, so I have to go ahead and share out things. So let's see. Okay, so we have that there. And let's go ahead and share. How are you guys doing today? Silhouette Studio. I forgot. So this time I was rushing. I missed it again. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm on my live stream teaching my peeps. All right. So I got in at my desk a little bit late today. So I didn't sometimes I have it where I can just copy and paste. I didn't do it this time. So I have to actually type this out. So give me a moment. I love Silhouette also. Thank you for all you do. You're very welcome, Doris. Thank you so much for tapping in. Hi, Belinda. How are you? Welcome, welcome. And let's go ahead and all right. And now let's go to 365 Creative Academy. All right, there we go. We are all shared out. All right, so let me go. Do have to go back. Yesterday, I don't know what happened to my live feed from Facebook yesterday, but I did see that there were some comments on it, and I keep forgetting. I have to get used to this, that I no longer see the comments from Shakia Lavelle on my StreamYard feed. I have to have it open on another device, and I forgot that yesterday. So I did miss quite a few comments and things yesterday, but I'm going to make sure that I longer see the comments from Shakia Lavelle. Hold on. There we go. Make sure that I do have this open so that I can see any comments that comes in on the Shakia Lavelle feed. Oh, wait. Hey. Stop turning on. Wait, why are you talking? Because it's definitely muted. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now it's muted. So I'm just going to put that right there. That way, hopefully it doesn't interfere with my screen. That way I can see if any comments pop up over there. Hello, Nancy. How art thou? I am incredible. How are you? And I think I said over here, Nini. Hello. Welcome. All right, so let's get through this intro so we can get into this. Hello, once again and officially. I am Shakia Lavelle, also known as Shakia, the professor. We are the home of our company is HS Sync 365, home of Sellaholics Anonymous, 365 Creative Academy, and the best summation paper and ink brand, honestly speaking, where you can submit as low as 365 degrees as fast as 30 seconds. I am my specialty, or like the area that I kind of operate in the most, would be within the creative or craft space. However, I'm well versed in like a lot of different areas. I am a business and brand consultant and strategist. We had an amazing session last night in my creative business program on Etsy, and giving them some tips and things when it comes to your listing titles, descriptions, thumbnails, or just imagery, like the photos that you upload, where they don't all have to be of like the product, and trying to take it from 30 different angles and what might be a little bit more effective. So we went over some of those things. And then on Thursday, we're going to really go into the Etsy platform so I can show them where all these things are, how to set it up, where they'll put their titles, and like their tags, what area is considered tags. Like on my website, I have an area for each product and it's like a tag. But when you're on Etsy, it's under like, I think it's like a material. So it's a different area where you can kind of put some SEO rich things in there to help you be more discoverable. So we're going to go over those things on Thursday. But yesterday was a great session for those who are in my creative business program, who are interested in starting off with Etsy. It's something that I highly recommend if you're trying to dip your toe, into the e-commerce pool as a creative, as someone with a business that focuses primarily on handmade goods. Etsy is a great place to start because it's a low entry barrier. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. It's a low entry barrier. It gives you a lot of real world experience, especially with dealing with different personalities. If you're used to kind of dealing with local and they're kind of similar people, you don't really get a full scope of how people can be and different personalities. Being able to, have that customer relation like management kind of sort of built in, and being able and how to manage and how to manage communicating with customers, especially if it's just through messaging, because these are really Etsy's customers, they're not yours. So you are kind of limited in how you can communicate with them. So that allows you to see, is that what I really want for my business, where I'm only communicating via messages back and forth? Do you have a business where, in order for you to get clarity and to be able to get moving quickly, do you need to have something where they can book a consultation, book a call with you, where you're able to actually hear them articulate what it is that they're looking for? You're taking notes, and then you can kind of go from there, because there can be a lot of things lost in translation. And a lot of people don't like to sit there and just type out everything. So they may abbreviate what they want, or they're not as clear, not as detailed, because they're typing it out because they just want to get that done if they're not using like voice to text. So having that actual conversation can allow them to really explain to you in detail what it is that they're looking for. And you can, direct them to whatever packages you have, or whatever services or offerings you have, letting them know what you are not able to do, so you're not wasting each other's time. So it really, really helps you kind of figure out different parts of your business. And as I told them, you don't have to have 10, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 100 products. All you need is one to get started, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because the joy of even just having a website is you can always change your title. You can always update your pictures. You can always update the description, and you can always change the price. So your price doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be written in stone. The price that you will have when you set up your Etsy account today, tomorrow, the end of the week, next month, if you just you go and you're getting these orders in, you realize, okay, the value of this is a little bit higher, then guess what? You have the power, you have the ability to go in there and change those prices and update anything within it. So never feel like anything that you put out on the internet is permanent, is forever. Hell, even if you're just utilizing social media, you can edit a post and you can change out things. If you have visuals, if you have graphics that may have a price on it, guess what? You're going to use one of these programs like Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Canva, and you're going to alter that. You're going to change that price on it. And then you're going to go into social media, go to that post, and I'll say at least Facebook. Now, TikTok is a little bit different. You can't edit. Instagram, I don't believe you can edit, but y'all know I love me a good Facebook. Well, I guess YouTube. Well, I guess you really can't. It is forever. You would have to on YouTube, you would have to like unlist that or make it private, because I never recommend deleting, because it will mess up your numbers. But you would have to, just re-upload that. But like Facebook is great because you can edit on Facebook. I'll say it that way. When you post things on Facebook, you can edit it and change out things. I'm not well versed in Instagram, so I'm not quite sure. But I definitely know you can with the other side of Meta, which is Facebook. And then, of course, TikTok, you have to basically re-upload, and it's okay. You have stuff that's weeks and months ago. Most time people are not checking for it. They're not going to go through your entire feed. What they see, that day is like, kind of like whatever you have recently might be the only things they see. So if you change and update your prices, so be it. Stores do it all the time. So you do want to know how to use these design programs for things like that. If you want to update pictures for your social media posts, if you want to update pricing, you want to update offerings as you are adding more things to your business offerings, or if you are taking things away. Don't be afraid to edit down. You may have been someone that got into this because you're in these groups and you purchased so many different things because of what you saw in groups, and you tried it out and you're like, this really doesn't work for me on a business level. I might do this personally, for my kids, my friends, my family, myself, and things of that nature, but it's not something that I really want to put to market. That is okay. It is okay to edit down and take away services that no longer serve you or your business. Okay. All right. Christy, hello. Incredible greetings. I am incredible. How are you? Judy, how art thou? Teresa says, thank you for that. I always put things off thinking it has to be perfect. I was going to wear my shirt that says perfection is overrated. No, don't wait until it's perfect. That is one of the core mindset things that I taught at the beginning of my creative business program, is about perfectionism and just like overthinking it. You have to put it out there. You're not going to know what works, what doesn't work until you at least put something out there. It's always a work in progress. Like, it will forever be a work in progress, because if you're utilizing social media, algorithms change, people's tastes change. I mean, look at how TikTok has changed so much. You had older folk, who were afraid of TikTok. Oh, I don't want to be on that app, and all them folks doing is just dancing and this, that, and the third. I mean, you have people launching like full learning opportunities. They had like the Hillman Talk, I think it was called, and they were on there like really teaching about, like on courses and things that you will find in colleges, whether it was financial literacy. You have people on there talking about credit repair. If it is gardening, you also have those who are selling like crazy. It is a shop. And it's a thing that I want to talk about so bad, because so many people were pitting TikTok shop against Amazon. And now you can shop directly like to Amazon from TikTok or something like that. Like, they have now, I'm gonna say collaborated, but Amazon's like, I'm not scared of you. I'm going to leverage you. So that's a story for another day. But it's changed so much. It's evolved so much. So with business, it's always changing. It's something you're always going to kind of have to work on. You're going to want to refresh some things, kind of reset some things just to get new eyeballs on it. It can be the same product, but adding a new title, adding an updated picture where someone doesn't feel like it's old and outdated will make them look at it differently. Even though it's the same service, you're going to make these chip bags the same way. You're going to make these tumblers the same way. You're going to make these crack fans the same way. But if like your thumbnail had a picture of a fan and it happened to have 2025 on it, but these things are still popping, let's say 2027, 2028, you may want to take that down. You don't have to change everything on there, but update and refresh the imagery on that particular listing or post and things of that nature. But it doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to get into the groove of it. I just asked a question about like, design programs and things. And some people are like, oh, well, I have a Cameo, but I've never used it. I'm afraid of the program. Okay, well, I don't know how to use it, or I'm afraid of it. They'll say things like that. And so I'm asking the questions. Well, what all did you try to create? Have you, downloaded? Oh, no. I mean, I look at so many people doing stuff, and I look at the screens. It's like it has so many options and so many things. How can you say it's hard if you've never been in the program? And then I have those where with my assistants, a lot of the times they'll get into it and they realize, oh, wait, this wasn't that scary. If I start small, I'm looking at this program like, man, it can do all these things. And their mindset is to go into it thinking about all the things that they can do. And they're wanting to do it all instead of starting at step one, like the same way you started with any other one. Let's just start with opening it up. Let's start with how do I set my design page size? How do I add the basic thing, text? If I have this text, how do I add color to it? Like, that's a place to start, because you'll be surprised how many people get stuck on that. How many people type out something and the default for Silhouette Studio is no color, and then there's only a line color. So they're trying to click on it to move it around, and they can't because they're clicking in the middle and it's not selecting. So it's like knowing that, oh, I have to click where there is some sort of color. There's color on the line. So my mouse has to be right on that line in order for me to click it, select it, and be able to move it. How do I make my life easier with that? Is adding some sort of color to it. Even if it's not the final color. I'm finding especially when I'm in these one-on-one sessions, I prefer group sessions, right? Because it helps more people. It's better revenue-wise too. You have the same amount of time, but you're helping multiple people, and they're paying for that block of your time. But what I find out in one-on-one sessions, and people are a little bit more open, is where their deficiencies and things like that, are. And part of their, I guess you would say, what gives certain design programs a bad rep is they're trying to think of like the final design. So they have this name and they're stuck because they're like, I can't find the right shade of red, pink, purple, blue, or whatever. So instead of just filling this in and then moving on, they're sitting here obsessing over the fill color that's in this, like whatever the shape is, whatever the words is. And it's like, dude, you got the words, you got the name, you got the words typed out. Fill that bad boy with any color. And let's move on to the next part. And once you have kind of, your composition together, now let's go in and figure out how we can arrange these colors. I'm doing designs and I'm changing out colors all the time, okay? And figuring out which ones work, which ones look good together. Okay, well, let me move this here, that there. Okay, this color combination, it can be not say ongoing, but like it can be a process where you're going to try out different things to figure out what really sticks and what really works. If you're going into design thinking that it has to go from your brain to paper perfectly the first time, that's where you're going to get stuck. Okay. That is definitely where you're going to get stuck. Hello, Esther. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for tapping in. Jenny, hello. Takita, hello. How are you? Thank you guys for tapping in. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up or like it, heart it. If you're not subscribed, click out of the live chat. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channels. Hit the share button, tag a friend. All right. So, which design programs are you guys currently using? Let me know in the chat, what design programs are you currently using? Even if it's not Silhouette Studio, Canva, or Photoshop, what are you using? I know that there is a bit of a delay, so it's kind of weird because I have to wait for the delay on your side to kind of catch up where you guys hear what I said and then type out your response. But meanwhile, it's creating this long period of silence for me. So on the playback, there's this long period of silence. See, there we go. All right. Hello, Nikki. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tapping in. So Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Canva, and Cricut. Silhouette Studio and Canva. Okay. Canva, Cricut, new to using Silhouette. Incredible morning, Vanessa. All right, anyone else? What programs are you guys currently using? And then let me know also, like I want to know all the ones, but then let me know which one is your go-to, because y'all know Silhouette is my go-to. What is your go-to program? Canva, Cricut, and Photoshop. Okay. Silhouette and Photoshop. And what's your go-to? Cricut and Canva. Canva and Silhouette. Canva is my current go-to. I use Silhouette, Canva, and just purchase Affinity. My go-to is Canva. Silhouette Studio, Cricut, but I go to Silhouette Studio more. Okay. For those whose go-to is Canva or you're using Canva heavily, what was one of the determining factors for you with making Canva one of your primary design platforms? And do you find, based off of based off of what you need design wise and what you need a program to do you find that there are limitations to Canva or any of the programs? Like, what limitations do you find in the programs that you are using? Go-to is Silhouette now. Interested in learning Silhouette Studio? So I'd highly recommend that you start with our Essentials of Silhouette Studio. It is an amazing program that's going to teach you the essentials and really break down the tools and functions that you understand how they work at their core, and then how you can bridge them together to create amazing designs. For some reason, I cannot figure out Cricut. All right, so what is it? Gold. What are some things that you're trying to create? Let's start there. What are some things, like, what's the last thing that you designed, or maybe you tried to figure out how to do it in Cricut design? Do you have a Cricut machine, first of all? But something you tried to figure out how to put together in Cricut and you couldn't figure it out. And that goes for anyone. What is something that you have wanted to design or figure out and you can't figure out how to do it in the design program that you're using? I only use Silhouette. I don't do fancy designs. Canva isn't really about fancy designs. Canva has a lot of elements there that will cut down your design time. So don't look at it as just fancy designs. And there's a lot of resources if you're in, not gonna say you're just in business. I'm gonna stop saying that, because I don't want people to feel like I just talk to those business. Just to organize your life. There's a lot of great features in there that I use just as a mom, as a wife. Like, for my everyday life, there are things in Canva that benefit me. I know that there are things in Canva that benefit teachers. If you have kids, you want to get them acclimated with Canva for school projects and PowerPoints. My niece created a whole PowerPoint presentation for her Christmas list. Okay, so there are things, there are benefits to learning how to use Canva. My go-to Silhouette, my go-to studio, my enhancements are in Photoshop. And then depending on my cut, it is Silhouette Studio or Cricut. I don't use Canva that much, and I mostly use Cricut for cutting. All right. Go-to was Cricut, but Explorer to Air is dying. Oh no. Go to Cricut now. I want to use Silhouette more, but I'm not as knowledgeable with it. When I hear people say I'm not as knowledgeable with it, my question to you then is, how much time do you spend trying to learn it? If you're not knowledgeable in it, how do you expect to get knowledgeable in it if you don't spend time with it and you are okay with fumbling around, fiddling with things, getting frustrated because you don't know it? So when you're going in, it's not going to just come to you instantaneously. It's going to be some frustration days. Are you willing to go through those frustrating moments to become more knowledgeable in any platform? The ease of use, the elements and different fonts are readily available. Okay. Not design wise, my print and cut makes my head hurt. I can't get it to work consistently. Wait, which machine did you say you had? Let me go find your name. Wait, so you're saying your print and cut, because you use Silhouette, your print and cut with your Silhouette is not consistent, doesn't work consistently? Do you have a Cameo 12, 15, or 24-inch cutter? I would like to learn how to use Photoshop. I want to learn how to use photos with designs. You don't need Photoshop to learn how to add a photo to a design. So what is it something that you create? Because you said you create, like, not too fancy things. What is something that you create? You don't need Photoshop for that, other than maybe removing the background, but there are options for that. You can get a subscription to Remove BG so that it can remove the backgrounds for you. You can have a subscription to Canva, like get the Canva Pro, where you will be able to remove backgrounds and then add them to Silhouette Studio, and then also take advantage of some of the other design features within Canva. Canva purchased the rights to Remove BG to add to their platform. Like they got the licensing and the rights for that. So their remove background is similar to Remove BG, but not quite. Like they have like some, I still keep my subscription to Remove BG because I feel like somehow they like it's a little bit different over there, like how they built that out originally. Canva didn't fully take over like how their system works. So I feel like some things are still better on Remove BG, but it does its thing in Canva as well. I noticed when I send files from Silhouette for DTF printing, the color doesn't come out right. But if I send it through Canva, the color comes out perfectly. Okay, it wasn't the exact same design. So have you ever created something and it's the exact same design that you created in Silhouette, and then it's the same thing from Canva and you sent it and the colors came out better? When you are designing, did the colors not come out right because it was something that was pre-made or something that you created yourself and you filled in with colors? Okay, now I read that one. Cricut seems easier to me, but I realize it's probably just what I'm most familiar with. I'm slow with Silhouette Studio finding images. Well, Silhouette Studio does not have a library of images built in. Just like Cricut, I mean, they have like a little design store. They have like little things here, like a what's the thing called? I forgot what theirs is called. Like they have a library of things, but you end up having to have that subscription to get access to those things. Silhouette, there's a subscription, but it's like buying credits to go into their design store and then download them, and then they are yours forever. Whereas with Cricut, for certain elements, if you end your subscription to their, I forget what it's called, you lose access to those elements. Silhouette, once you purchase those elements, they are yours. Like you pay for the credits, they are yours. So it's a little bit different. It's a different dynamic. Canva is totally different from any of those because it has a built-in library. Now, Photoshop does have, like, well, I would say Adobe does have a library of certain elements and things of that nature, but they're more pixel based. You're not going to find the SVGs and like those type graphics like that. Like you can get simplified elements in Canva. So that was a really, really big selling point for a lot of people. And the fact that there is thousands and thousands and thousands of templates that give you like a base or a starting point, and then you can build and grow from that. But yeah, Silhouette Studio, you're gonna bring in your elements. Like that's one of the biggest selling points of it, is like the ability to bring in whatever elements you want and modify them and customize them. You created the image yourself and you filled it in with color. So did you use a color chart for it, or were you using the colors from Silhouette's color chart, like their palette? Were you using colors from the Silhouette palette, or were you using hex codes or color codes? Might be an easy way to kind of identify that. I have the Cricut Maker that I brought when they first came out. Excuse me. I had planned to make wooden earrings for me. It's more challenging than Silhouette. I can't unsilhouette my brain. Well, you shouldn't have to unsilhouette your brain. So is the challenging part in the machine itself or trying to figure out the design program? So many people feel like when they get a new machine that they have to learn how to design in that platform, and you don't. If Silhouette Studio works better for you, you create it in Silhouette Studio, you save it as an SVG, and then you just open up that SVG and you're utilizing Cricut Design Space as just a cutting platform. That's all. I have a lot of hybrid students, and that's what they do. They design in Silhouette Studio, and then they save it either for printing, print then cut, or just for cutting. They open it up in Cricut Design Space, and they're just in there to be able to cut it because that's a machine that they have to cut to. Okay, so here's a couple of things with that. One, you have to remember that you never should use the color palette in Silhouette Studio. That is one of the number one things, like first things I teach in Essentials, and I believe you've taken Essentials. You never use the color palette. You want to sample colors from different places, and then you have to remember how colors work. So really, really, if you're using like really, really bright colors, Silhouette Studio, you're designing in an RGB format. When it comes to DTF, they automatically switch it to CMYK. Let me make sure I wasn't missing any comments over here. Okay, I wasn't. They automatically switch it to CMYK. So certain colors will dull out and they won't be the exact color because of the color mode. May not necessarily be something that you did in Silhouette Studio or even Canva, but it's how they go in and they change the color mode. So that's one of the big factors as well. And never use the color palette. So if you're not using hex codes, if you're not sampling from like a design, your colors may be off if you're using the Silhouette palette. Even if you go into, like, when you click on it and you see like all of their colors at the bottom and you can move around and select those colors, don't ever do that. Always get yourself a color chart. It's on our website, and always fill in your color codes. I have not spent a lot of time trying to learn Cricut because it didn't immediately come easy for me. I need to use that machine that's on the shelf. So you don't have to learn to design in it to learn how to use it. So that means your focus would be on, hey, how do I take a design from Silhouette Studio, or how do I take a design from Canva and bring it into Cricut Design Space? And how do I figure out my cut settings? That's all you have to figure out. You don't have to figure out how to change a color, how to change, text or reshape things. You don't have to learn any of that if that's the cutting machine that you chose to purchase. All you have to learn is how to get your design in there and cut properly. Nothing else. Yes, Cameo 12, a 12-inch. I have the Silhouette 3. What issues are you having when it comes to print and cut? Just word designs with vinyl and HTV. Okay. Let me see. Let me go back up here. So when it comes to adding photos, what is it that you're wanting? How do you want to enhance your designs with photos? With Silhouette Studio, do you have to have the cutting machine? You do not have to have a cutting machine. Actually, I didn't even say that. I normally lead with that. And in most of my teachings, most of my videos, you'll hear me repeat that multiple times. You do not need a machine in order to use Silhouette Studio. It is a standalone design software. Anybody can download it. You go to the website, Silhouette America, you're going to create a free account. You're going to download and install the program. Anyone can use it. You don't even have to have a machine in order to get the upgraded version so that you can open up SVGs, you can open up PDFs. So you can just go to our website, click on the link, get Designer Edition, get Designer Plus if you're doing embroidery. Or my recommendation, if you can swing it right now, go ahead and go all the way up to Business Edition. Do you have to have a business in order to have Business Edition? Absolutely not. It's just the name that they gave that version, because the main feature of Business Edition was so that those with multiple machines could cut to all of them at the same time. I have 7 machines, and if they are all connected and they're all plugged in through a hub, they're all connected via Bluetooth, I can literally send a design and all 7 of those machines can be going from the same Silhouette window. Can you do that with Cricut Design Space? Yes, but you have to have several windows open, and you have to be on the computer and have several windows, like internet windows open, and each one is basically assigned to a different machine. So they figure if you have 5, 6, 7 machines, you have to be in business. So they called it Business Edition. It's the highest version. And you still don't need a machine in order to use it. Hey, Coach, I tried yesterday about three times to update to Silhouette Business Edition, and it keeps taking the page swing. I think it's called Swing Designs. I'm not able to get through the. Okay, wait. You're trying. Okay, wait. I'm not able to get that sale price. Okay, wait. Okay. Are you saying that you went to my website and clicked on the, okay, so let me go over here. Because you're saying, so my link will technically take you to Swing Design, if that's what you're saying. You know, I'm not cool enough, I guess, for them to allow me to have my own discounts and stuff like that, or me to sell Silhouette, even though I've been promoting it for 11 years. Yeah, so I'm not able to get, you know, where I'm able to sell it myself. So if you are on my website and you're clicking on, let's say, business edition, design edition, or whatever, yes, it is going to take you to Swing Design and you're going to purchase it here. It is $49.99 here. I will get credit. So I will receive a small commission when you go through my link. Okay. So if that's what you're referring to, it will take you to Swing Design, but you go ahead and you purchase it from here. Okay. It's okay. I think I deciphered it okay. If that's what you're saying, that when you click on it, it's taking you to Swing Design, it's supposed to. I didn't know that, and I have to, I'll look into that. Okay. Awesome. Always glad to help. You cannot export with Cricut Design Studio. No, you cannot. I didn't say that. So you can go, I said you can go from Silhouette Studio and then open it in Cricut Design Space to cut from it. But I've mentioned that in several videos. So Cricut does not have a way for you to save anything cleanly from from Cricut Design Space and be able to use it somewhere else. Now, some people will blow up the screen and they'll take a screenshot of it and they'll open it somewhere else, or remove the background on it, or open in Silhouette, take it over to Canva. There's like this thing on the inside when you go in and you kind of like, you have to go in like deep into your settings. And I'm not sure if it's like a JPEG or some sort of SVG, or it's something, but even when people use that, it's not clear. But directly from Cricut Design Space, there is no save button, no share, or it's a share, but it's like sharing within its own ecosystem. But you can definitely go from Silhouette into Cricut Design Space, because Silhouette allows you to save file, save as, and it will allow you to save in different file formats. You can save in SVG, PNG, JPEG, portable document format, which is PDF. Since I'm here, if you are someone, I think was it Esther that mentioned DTF, if you're going to use Silhouette Studio for designing, I repeat, I do not recommend that you save your designs that's meant for for DTF. Do not save them as a PNG from Silhouette Studio. You will get a white or grayish line, like outline around all of your prints. Do not save as a PNG if you're going to get DTF prints. Do not save as a PNG if the purpose is DTF prints. Do I need to say it again? All right. So let's see. I'm going to sign up for Silhouette Studio today before I purchase the business edition. I like to play around with it first to get used to it before purchasing. No problem. So yeah, just go to their website and download it, and then make sure that you come back to our website and you get that Essentials of Silhouette Studio, or try out any of the design challenges just to kind of see, you know, if I wanted to create X, Y, and Z, like what would it really take in Silhouette Studio to be able to do this? So we have several design challenges that are only $5.63 on our website. So you can try any of those out and, you know, just get a feel for creating something in Silhouette Studio. You can do it through that. Okay. Even if you have never used the program before. All right, let me see. Did Nancy ever respond back about how she would like to add photos to her designs? No. Okay. Nope, I don't see it. I think it was someone else, because I would like to show, like, how I teach. I like showing you what applies to you. I've been in this 26 years. I learned designing and all these things in high school, no obligation. It wasn't connected to it wasn't an urgency to learn it for a business or a side hustle. I was able to just freely learn from my easy A. And I learned to navigate through other design programs because of that foundation. So I have a lot of experience, and I've done so many things, from me being an event planner and my tagline being DIY by a professional. So I'm creating all sorts of things for events, utilizing various design programs. I even like finessed Microsoft Word. Okay. This is before it became Home 365 or whatever it's called now. And you had all these weird, it's like, it's just different now, but you should be able to do some things in Word. Making 3D boxes. I hand cut a lot of stuff. Doing stuff for cheer, whether it's cheer bows, cheer socks, doing stuff with sublimation, working with vinyl, working with adhesive vinyl, working with eco solvent and solvent latex printers for yard signs, for wall decals for cars. I think it's at the party favors, foam board. Oh, y'all know your girl loves her some foam board. Wait, where'd my thing go? That's over here. Um, Okay, there we go. I have no idea what happened. The whole system muted itself. Yesterday, it turned off Facebook. So I'm not even sure what part you guys did not hear. Crap. I know. I'm just now realizing that the system shut itself down. Okay, what was the last thing you guys heard me say? What was the last thing you heard me say? My website is shop.hsinc365.com. It is in the description of this video, so there are some helpful links for you there, but it is hsinc365.com. hsinc365.com. Let's see. I would love to learn how to make memorial shirts. Okay. For my mom's anniversary, I wanted to make some shirts for my sisters and me, but I don't know how to make it. Okay. What did you want those shirts to look like? Let's start there. Okay. Yeah, we're back. I was talking about how I love foam board. Okay. No, it wasn't that. The system, StreamYard, it actually muted both platforms, so it wasn't going out, coming back in. Okay, yeah. So I was saying that. Wait, let me see. I forgot what I think I was just listing all of the different things that I create and I've made over the years. And I'm like, I've been at this for 26 years, and there's people at different levels. I'm not sure if y'all heard that part. Different levels of what is they're trying to learn. And I don't want to just kind of always just show things, because I want you to see how that truly fits in your journey. You should have a list of the things that you want to create, and there should be some hierarchy to the things that you want to create, and you're checking them off. If it takes you a year, that's fine. There's only so many hours in the day. I made a post the other day that was like, there's only 24 hours in a day. If you're getting proper sleep, you only have, I think I said it's like, was it 16 hours of that? If you have a 9 to 5, whatever, but at the end of the day, free time, not including what you're doing for your kids and stuff, between work and sleep and like commuting, you may only have anywhere from 6 to 8 hours free every single day if you're working a full-time job. So it's going to be impossible to learn all of these things that you're seeing in these groups. There's thousands of people in these groups, y'all. I know y'all are in these really, really big popular groups, and you're seeing all of this stuff. And it's like the shiny object syndrome. And you want to do this, and you're like, oh, that's what I need. It's going to take my business to the next level. But you don't fully understand it. I've taken my time to understand how to do all of these different things. So how I teach, I rather you tell me, what is it that you're wanting to learn? I want to cater this experience to you. If you're just listening to me talk, it might be a little bit helpful. You might pick up some gems here and there, but when you're specific and you're like, hey, this is where I need help and assistance at, that's going to be more beneficial to you. So although I can show 1,000,001 different ways, and I'm not sure if y'all heard that part where I was like, I have all these videos. I've been at this for a really long time. I realized that I was before my time. There's stuff that's trending now, and I was doing this years ago. So I was like, why do I need to reinvent the wheel and kind of keep trying to come up with new content? I'm going to repurpose what I have. So we're in the process of downloading some stuff that, we don't have the actual files for. That's the joy of YouTube. It always lives there. I can just re-download it. We're using Canva to edit it down, and then I'm going to re-upload it, because most people are not trying to go back to look at videos from 10 years ago, or in their mind, they're going to think it's outdated, and it's literally the same stuff that people are teaching y'all now that they just learned. It's trending, it's stuff like that. And your girl has been doing this for a long time. So I'm going to bring forth a lot of that stuff. But when I'm doing these sessions, even though we're talking about Canva, Photoshop, and Silhouette, I like to know what it is that you're looking to learn about these platforms, so I can cater it to a few of you, and it may end up helping someone else. Okay. All right, so I know Nancy said, where is it? Okay, so I don't think she didn't respond again as far as the anniversary shirts. I am a very simple person. One, for memorial shirts, I don't like pictures. I don't wear shirts with pictures on them. When my grandmother passed, did I design a shirt for my family that want pictures and things? And I designed a certain way. I can put pictures on it. I don't do a lot of the pearly gates and angel wings and things of that. I've done like some skylines and things of that nature, but I don't really do a lot of like the gates and wings and stuff like that. Um, so I guess how I design wouldn't necessarily be your traditional memorial design. I don't feel like a memorial design has to be sad. A memorial design, actually, I just did for someone where they didn't want any names on it. They just wanted the young lady's name on it, and it just had her name, and they said sunflowers. And let me see, where is it? I have this print. Most people would not, and I think what made it kind of memorial for me was I did add the little dove on it. Like that's kind of a universal symbol, but that's all they wanted was the name and then sunflowers. So this technically is a memorial. A memorial design is for that person. What do they need for it to be a memorial design? When my grandmother passed, like I said, I made for my family. They wanted pictures and stuff on theirs, but I don't do pictures. My kids, I did not allow my kids to wear shirts with, my grandmother's face on it. When my aunt passed away, I made this collage. It was actually in the center of her obituary. And I use that same thing, for the shirts, Jet Pro 3G. And this has been many, many years. And they still wear those shirts. I do have a version of it, but it's like all these different pictures of like my aunt and family and stuff like that. They wanted that. We didn't. I had one that said it was kind of the same at the top. I think it's celebrating the life of, and it had her name and it had the dates. It was just words, no pictures. And I think the element may have been like a dove or something on there. I think I had like the heartbeat thing on it, but there was no set way to make memorial designs. I designed for someone and it was a picture of them standing up. It was like a little film strip with like some other pictures in it and their name. They wore that to, at the wake or whatever. There is no set design for memorials. And I know that hurts me because when you guys see memorial, there's so many people in groups that are making it about heaven and all those things. So now when I'm here and I'm saying, oh yeah, this is memorial design, you're looking at me like, oh, she don't know what she's talking about. Like, they ain't even got that thing. I don't need it. Because people tell me that, but I'm like, you also have to know that there are people that are like me. They don't want all that extra stuff. They don't want it to seem, dreary. Like they maybe want to remember the person in a happier time. And it's just what they choose to cherish as their memories. So you don't have to make it where it's so somber and things of that nature. You don't have to include pictures. So when you say that you want to learn how to make memorial shirts, do you have a specific style in mind when it comes to that? Because I can always, even though I don't, it's not a preference of mine, I have shown how to create those designs if that is what you desire. Oh, now y'all got quiet on me. Oh, y'all got quiet on me. Let's see. Let me see. Did anybody else say the type of designs they're trying to create? Let's see. Did anybody else say what type of designs they were trying to create? Nope, it was just that one. So I need her to respond back in what she wants to create, like when she's saying like for anniversary, for my mom's, and then it's like for my mom's anniversary, not your parents. It's like for my mom's anniversary. I wanted to make some shirts for my sisters and me, but I don't know how to make it. Like, what is it that you want them to say? All right, did I go out? Can y'all still hear me? Did I go out again? I don't know how to make it. Like, what? Okay, maybe I need to end it. Maybe it's with StreamYard. I don't think, well, no, I think I hear myself here. So y'all just kind of tapped out on me. I just heard myself in the last thing I said. So y'all have just tapped. All right. So I guess this hour has been too long for you guys. So I guess that's the end of this, because now you guys aren't talking back to me. All right, Facebook is fine. So, but you all aren't responding. So you all are writing that. So you're able to type, what is it that you're wanting to learn? Like being very specific. What is it that you're struggling with? For those that say, I don't understand silhouette, tell me something specific that you don't understand. You might say, okay, the entire program. But what if you wave a wand? What would you like to learn how to do first? What do you think you need to learn how to do first? Wow. YouTube has completely dropped off. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Are you there? Okay. Tiana says, I want to learn how to do PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. Is there something in particular about doing a slideshow presentation? What are you creating the PowerPoints for? Is it for, like, you need to learn that for your job? Are you teaching classes on things and you want to be able to do slides to kind of explain stuff? So what are you wanting to create PowerPoints for? Okay, some of my sisters wanted a picture of her and her name. Like I said, you won't be able to remove a background. Okay. You cannot remove a background in Silhouette Studio, like a complex one, unless you want to do edit points, which I've done videos on that too, because I don't mind doing edit points to remove someone's picture out. But there are so many like easier ways now. So if you have Canva, which I know you haven't dipped your toe in the Canva pool and you're not paying for it, you do have to pay for it. You have to find something. So if you are not willing to pay for a platform to remove the background, you are going to have to do it manually. And if you're going to do it manually, my question to you is, how well versed are you with edit points? Is that something that you practice often? Is that something that you're proficient in? Because you're going to need that if you're wanting to remove the background. If not, you're going to have to pay for some sort of platform that allows you, or learn some sort of platform that's going to allow you to remove the background. Like Photoshop now has this thing called background remover. It's not always the greatest. One of the better ones is to kind of do select subject and then mask it off. Like I said, Remove BG, they have credits. You can use the free version of Remove BG, but once, like, especially bringing a high quality image, the results that you get back will be a little bit of a lower quality. It's gonna kind of blur out certain parts of the image. So that's going to be part one. So if you're wanting to add pictures to designs, you have to decide which platform you are willing to learn and possibly pay for in order to remove backgrounds. If your mindset is, well, I don't want to have to pay for anything extra to do this, then you won't be able to do them quickly, but you can go in and use edit points and remove complex backgrounds. Okay. Let me see here. Let's do, who do I want to look up? Oh, you know what? Only because she was on BT and I love me some Maya. So let's search Maya. Okay. Oh, let's bring her over yonder and let's go ahead and switch like this. Oh, this is an easy one. How to start a new page in Canva Girl, that one, now that's an easy one. And Canva, understanding Canva 101 would definitely benefit you. But let me jump to that real quick. I can do that in like 2.5 seconds. So anytime you click on things here, it's creating technically a new page, right? Or you're starting a new one and it'll be in different sizes. But if you kind of just know what page size, you're just going to go right here to custom size. You're going to click where it says PX, go to inches. You're going to put in the size that you want it to be and create new design. Boom. That was an easy one. I like ones like that. I can get that done real quick. Okay. So again, you just go here to custom size and it says create new, right? So you're going to custom size. It will normally say PX, change that to inches. Or if you're somewhere and your primary unit of measurement is centimeters or millimeters, you would select one of those and then you would type it in. Boom. There you go. You will have your new design page. There we go. All right. So let me go back over here. So let me find my girl Maya. We're going to go to some images and and I reached out to that because I knew like how her hair is, and she's very versatile with like her hair. Something like this picture, which this is kind of crazy that it's this little square, but it's saying it's 4,000 by 4,000. You would not be able to easily remove the background behind her in a program like Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to copy this image. We're going to go over to Remove BG, and I'm going to drop that in. So it's going to go through it and it's going to fully remove that background, even in between like the little wispies of her hair. All right. You see how it removed that? And then we're just going to go ahead and download it. Okay. Now in Silhouette Studio, it would be difficult, and Silhouette Studio is a vector-based program. So you can't have things kind of feathered off when you're creating an outline or you're trying to remove like that complex background. It's going to give you, I guess you would say, like harsh edges, right? So it only works for certain things. So this image of her where she has this beautiful curly hair, it is going to be best to use something like Remove BG, or if we add her picture to Canva, I'm just going to size it up, move her over a little bit. Actually, I'll bring it down just a little bit more. You just hit remove background. It's going to go through it, and it's going to remove that background. Taking a little longer. There we go. So now that background is removed. And if, let's say, you're like, well, I'm not, oh, look, it left a little piece right here, which I think that may not have been. Okay, let me undo. Hold on. Let me see if it's just because it was off the screen or if it, let me see. So I'm going to go remove background. Nope. Okay. So see here, it left this little E. Oh, it actually left it here too. I didn't even notice that. So in what's this thing called? Canva, I can go to edit. We're going to go to remove background. There is erase and restore. So I'm going to take my brush size down a little bit and I'm just going to brush that off because I don't need that, and then exit out. Remove BG. If I would have saw it, you're going to go to erase and restore. You're on erase. I'm going to take off magic brush. I don't really need that for this. And same thing, you're going to increase it and you're going to brush that off. It's going to do its thing. And now that's gone. I'm going to kind of cut that little piece off right there. So now I can save these. If I was in Canva, I would go to share, download it as a PNG, bring it back in, transparent background, and then bring it into Silhouette Studio if that's where I choose to design at. Okay. Now, let's say we go with, I want one of her, like not so much like curly hair. Okay, so let's say this particular image of Maya, right? Now, inside of her earring, it's a little bit more complicated, like to get that, but I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over here and we're going to plug that in. Boom, that's gone, right? So we're going to go ahead and download that. If I were to bring that same image into Silhouette Studio, I cannot trace and detach because there is no contrast between the two. It's a complex. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Before I do that one, let me, because we're talking about all three programs. So let me, come over here, and we're just going to go File, New, and I'm just going to choose. And so they have a background remover as well. Sometimes it's not the greatest. We'll see what results we get with this. This one did pretty good. Like, I mean, this one actually did amazing. So they have a quick like click and background remover, and there's also other ways. So you do have to have something that's going to allow you to remove the background. But something like this, where it's not super complex, I'm going to, there's a couple different ways this can be done. I'm going to start with just a circle, an oval. I'm going to fill it in with some color, take the transparency down, and then I'm going to double click and I'm going to add, I'm going to add some edit points around this. I just need just to add, I'm adding them randomly. I may not use all of them, but it gives me curves. I'm going to hold down Shift, select them all. In Photoshop, it's like using the pen tool, but Silhouette's, going around it manually. If you double click off of, you have to start all over. Whereas in Photoshop, you can immediately pick that back up. So I just kind of like doing it this way. And then I'm going to make everything corners so that I can adjust them independently. So I will take, which, like I said, I don't even know why I did that many of these at the bottom because I don't need that many. So I'll come here. We'll go like that. We'll bring this down to here. And I can always go back in and refine that. So I'm not going to worry about that. I just wanted the points all up and through there. What you gonna do when you can't say no, when your feelings start to show? Boy, I really need to know, man. How you gonna act? How you gonna handle that? What you gonna do when she wants you back? That is my jam. I love me some Maya. I was screaming when she hit the BET award stage. Her, Brandy, like that is my era. And she's very photogenic. So, great for examples because she is gorgeous. Like I said, it's not that it cannot be done. It's just more time consuming. So to know me and is to know that one of my things I always say is you cannot save both. You cannot save time and money. You're either going to save money by taking the time to do more tedious tasks, right? Especially like when you want to DIY doesn't always mean that it's easier. It may take more time to do it. It's gonna, require more time from you to do it versus paying someone to do something. But then if you're like, I'd rather buy back my time, I'd rather have more time, I just need it to get done, you would, put some money on it, spend some money on it. So you cannot save both. Would you be able to do this? Absolutely. But it's going to take some time and patience in order to do it. It's not a click of a button like it was with the other platforms. Okay. This means that you do have to take the time to learn. Even without removing the background off of images, you still need to learn edit points. There are a lot of benefits to learning how to use and manipulate edit points, not just for removing backgrounds. Silhouette Studio is not a program that you're going to be able to create PowerPoints for, because it's not a program that has animations. You can't do multiple pages, within like one design and save it that way. So Silhouette Studio would not be where you would create PowerPoint presentations. Canva, you can. I do it all the time in Canva. Oh, you're saying, okay, you want to learn how to do edit points, not PowerPoints. Okay, now I get it. I see the edit point part. You're wanting to learn what I'm doing right now, how to really work edit points. You got to practice. This is one thing to where I don't care how many tutorials you watch, you want to take classes so that you understand how they work. You want to actually do the practice stuff that we have in our classes. And this is definitely something that you have to practice at. This, you get better with practice when it comes to edit points. There's no cheat code. There is no shortcut for it. It's something you have to practice. And as I said, I didn't need all these ones at the bottom. I don't even know why I added all of those edit points at the bottom, because it's already a straight cutoff. Uh-oh. Okay, so we'll start here. And so what we end up doing, I'm going to select the box I created, or the shape that I created. I'm going to remove the color, and then I'm going to select that shape and my image. I'm going to go over to modify. I'm going to crop. That background is basically removed. Now we just have to remove the parts inside of her earring. I'm going to kind of do the same thing where I'm going to start with an oval. I'll add color, and I will reduce that just so that I can see. Adding color allows me to easily select it. Without it, I would have to be right on the edge. So we're just going to add this here. We're going to bring this here. You need to get around her ear. This is now internal, so we don't crop. I'm going to have to subtract, and now that's gone. And I could go through like the little inner parts over here. I'm not going to do that. So now if you wanted to add a name to it, you're going to go to text and we're going to go Maya. You're going to fill that in with some color. We can sample a color from here. I will come over here. I'm going to change the font. No line color. I'm going to choose the color in her hair. So I have that, or I can make that thicker. I can find another. So that's that one. And then that one is a little bit thicker. I can choose any font, and then I can go in and add any, additional elements that I want to it. But that's going to be how you would do that. So you're either going to manually go around it and use your cropping, use your subtracting, or you bring those, the ones that we downloaded. I'm going to come back over here. They're up here because they downloaded. I'm going to drag and drop that over here. So now I'm trying to get them to line up. So this is the one I did. This is the one that Remove BG did. But you would still, add your name to it. However, now you have a sharp cutoff. This now comes like, okay, what are we using this on? What are you going to put it on? You might end up putting it on something like a cub or a sign. They can go to the bottom and you're not worried about it being cut off. But if you're wanting to get like in the center of a shirt, well, you need to now kind of fade that off. Well, you can't do that in Silhouette Studio. You would need something like Photoshop or Canva or anything that allows you to blur off pixels to smooth out the bottom edge of it. You can do a layer mask. Like if I was going to do this in sublimation, I would use my white layer mask and put it over the bottom so that it's a softer, the bottom edge is a little bit softer when I print it out. White doesn't print anyway. So it's just going to give the illusion that it is faded off, but I have a white fade bar over that section and I'll just put the name, in front of that. But that's what it would take to at least start creating. Do you have to know again, you don't have to have the final design, in your head. Take it step by step. Designing is about layering different steps. So maybe for you, the first step is me perfecting and learning how to bring images in, how to remove the backgrounds, whether I'm going to try out different platforms to use their background remover, or if I'm going to practice my edit points so that I can remove the background myself. And then, you mastered text, so you know how to add text, you know how to add color to text. Now you're just going to bring those two skills together. Designing and putting together design is simply about merging different skills. I am not using the free version. However, everything that I did can be done in the free version. Edit points are available in the free version of Silhouette Studio. In the free version of Silhouette Studio, you can open up JPEGs and PNG images. So yes, you can do it. I'm not using it, but you can do it. I download design from Etsy. Now I want to put it on a Tumblr. I want to learn how to send it to a platform and print it out. What platform will be best for it that I can grow with? You can grow with any of these design platforms, and it's going to be the same no matter the platform. If you're going to print it out yourself, Silhouette Studio is a great place. It's free, and all you have to do is bring that in and then size it. You have to know your Tumblr, what the size are. We have a ton of videos that go over that on our YouTube channel. And that will, you can watch those a little bit more detailed and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, like for me, the tumblers that I use, my size is the size template that I use is 8.25 by 9.35. So I basically added 0.1 to my width and 0.25 to my height because my tumblers measure 8 inches in height. So I make it 0.25. So I have a little bit of overlap on the top and bottom. And then my width, so that I have a little bit of overlap, I make it 0.1 bigger. So mine measure 9.25 wide. I make it 9.35 wide. So that's my measurements. So you would go in and put a box, and then you come up here, you're going to unlock it, and you're going to make it the size that you need, 9.35 by 8.25. You're then going to take your design and crop it to this. Like I said, I have several videos. We have classes on this if you rather a structured class, but we also have some videos that you can go onto YouTube and watch those. But it all depends on the look that you're going to. Some people would do things like, let's say, man, I'm gonna have to go to, let's see here. I don't even know what they were called. And I'm in the process of moving so many files around. Okay, perfect. So here is a JPEG of a 20-ounce tumbler, right? So, and my McDonald's one. So I'm just going to bring this in. Mine is, no, good. It's actually bigger. So it's really, really big. Don't know why it came out that big. Now this one, I can lock it in place first, and then you want to choose one of the dimensions. So let's say I'm going to go with my width. I'm going to go 9.35. When I hit enter, my height should reflect that. Or if it's not quite there, I will go 8.25. And so that goes up to 9.4, but it's okay, right? And if yours doesn't line up, so let's say yours still ends up like this. I'm going to send this to the back. I'm going to make this line a different color so that you can hopefully see it better. That probably didn't make it where you can see it any better. Let's see if okay, maybe now y'all can see that yellow line. So I would place this here, right? Because it was too big. So I'm going to kind of either center it, or if I want more from this side, I'm going to place it where I want. So you can see, y'all should be able to see that yellow line to the inside, right? That one. All right, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to go modify and crop. This will make this exactly 9.35 by 8.25. I'm going to go ahead, set my design page up to 8.5 by 11. And we're going to place this, rotate it 90 degrees. Or you can come over here to transform, rotate, and then rotate it to 90 degrees. I'm going to center it on the page. I'll actually move it up a little bit because I'll cut this side down, and this will be my overlap side. And then I'm just going to send it to print. That is how I do tumblers in Select Studio. If you're in Canva, I'll take that same one. What did I do with Canva? Oh, wait, is it over here? Nope. Now, I just had a Canva window open. What did I do with it? Oh, I think it's over here with Remove BG. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to delete her. We will drag and drop this into here. Oops, wrong one. I got to grab the actual picture. Drag and drop that into there. I don't think that's the one I did originally. I think I did this one because it should be bigger. Okay, well, maybe not. All right, so in here, I'm going to delete that. you would go to position and it will tell you the size of this. So right now it's telling me that this is 5.25 by 4.61. I'm going to make sure that it's locked, and I'm going to change just one dimension, 8.25, and my width went to 9.4. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that 90 degrees, position it. They added something new. OMG. If you get close to the edge, they have added like a print border type deal saying don't take your design that close to the edge. Okay, Canva, I see you. And then you would, you need to flip it. If you're going to print from your phone, you need to flip it. If you're going to print from a design program, you don't have to flip it. So you either flip it here, and then you're going to go and download it, which I'll download this again. I'm just going to download this as a JPEG, and I will, I'm just going to go download. And if you're on your phone, you can print from that because it's like made for submission. It's already, mirrored. Or I can take this, open it up in Silhouette Studio. I'm my design page set for 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to center it to page. But because it's already mirrored, you have to make sure that when you go to print, you turn off mirror because it's already mirrored. But in Silhouette, like how this one was, I would have mirror on so that it can mirror. Let me know if that was confusing for you. So that's how you would do that. This is something that we wanted. Easy enough, right? So because it's something that you wanted to do, is it just having the knowledge of it? Do you feel like this is something that you can now go and do? You can go take a picture, either take your time, like if you know edit points, take your time and completely edit it out, or utilize a background remover. Like you can start, like if you just want to practice it, you can use Remove BG. They have a free one that you can use. It's just that the resolution is much lower. So if I kind of do the free version, I'm going to show you side by side between the free version and the this one actually wasn't too bad because I guess it was a really high resolution image. So this one may not be okay. No, you can see the difference in the quality between the two. Like you can look at how sharp her eyes are here compared to here. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that don't care. I see it all the time. Like they're like, hey, it's just a picture. I'm okay with it. I'm cool. Now, one of the things that you will notice is if you look, so what I'll do is I'm going to make a duplicate and we're going to make that yellow, send it to the back. Do you see the pixelation around it? So because you're using the low resolution version, you're going to get that. Regular prints, it doesn't show up as much. DTF, it definitely will show up because white will be put behind those areas. Sublimation, you may kind of see that color halo, but there's a very big difference in the quality that you get when you're using the free version. But you can practice with the free version. If you're just wanting to get a picture, remove the background, bring it in, add some, add words and stuff to it, start there. And it's like, oh my God, I love this. Like somebody really wants it. You can pay for simple credit. Like you can pay for credits on Remove BG. You don't have to have a monthly subscription. You can pay for credits. Okay. I'm not sure what your question is. Select portfolio. I'm not sure what you're asking. If I bring this over here, see, we don't have all of those harsh halos. So Tiana, if you're one, are you in Essentials of Silhouette Studio? So many of you guys say you want to learn edit points. You have purchased the class and you are not going through it. That class, just purchasing it, is not going to have you learning how to use these programs via osmosis. You have to do the work. Anyone that tells me they want to learn something, my question is always going to be, how much are you practicing it? If you're saying you want to learn it, you have to practice it. You have to get in there and do the work. It doesn't have to be for an order. If you are waiting for an order to utilize those skills, you're going to be so frustrated when you're trying to do it, because now the pressure is on. When you have downtime, you have free days, or schedule the time and say, on this day, I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes. I'm going to dedicate 15 minutes. I'm going to dedicate an hour, and I'm going to go image after image. If you happen to adjust edit points and you got that done in 15 minutes, but you dedicated for an hour, pick another image and do that one, and pick another one and do that one. Keep practicing it. Keep practicing it. I literally will go and get stuff and just remove the background just to make sure my skills are sharpened. I don't mind just practicing and making sure I'm sharp with my skills. Image upscaler is not what people think. It will change certain features. It's there, but it's not what people think it is. So I'll even go there, right? So let's go to, let's go back over here. Let's come in here. We're going to add another page. And we're going to bring in the one that is not so great. And we're going to bring in the one that was amazing. Oh my gosh, look at Canva making updates, trying to keep you within because they're like, look, y'all ain't trying to really learn how to design, so we're going to help y'all out, and we're going to give y'all a red line saying, don't take your design all the way to the edge, because most of these printers don't print borderless. Stay your behind in the margins. Yes, Cricut. Not Cricut, Canva. I love it. Help the people. All right, so I'm going to come. I'm going to come back over here. We're going to come here. We're going to exit out. We're going to go to apps. We're going to go to, is it? Oh, yes, under this one. It's not under the other one. I think it's under here. Image. Is it upscale? Okay, image upscaler. Okay, actually, no, it might be under edit. It might be under edit. Let me see. Hold on. I think it is. Yeah, image upscaler. Okay. And so let's say you go 8 times, and then we're going to upscale. Because technically you cannot ever click a button and kind of upscale something. It takes a lot of, I talked about that yesterday when someone's doing restoration of images. It takes a lot to go in there and fix and sharpen like all of those areas. A lot of times it's using the AI and it's searching for things that are similar and stuff like that to kind of, now it might, because I got this from the internet, it might pull from that original image, because it can technically find this image and be able to apply that. But a lot of the times when you're trying to do that, it can't really find it. So this right here, so this is, okay, well, okay, I'm just going to go replace. Okay, so I'm going to bring back in the original. You see how it changed her mouth? It changed her eyes. It changed her hair. Let's see. It did pretty good with leaving the rest of it kind of the same. It gets kind of funky over here. So if you don't mind it looking just a little bit different, you can use it. But it is literally searching for other elements that are similar to upscale, like to replace it. So it's not, and look, it took away her nose ring. So it's not changing the original image. It is finding pieces and piecing it together. If you are okay with that, then hey, some people like the image upscaler, but it won't be the original image. It changed the shape of her eyes. Her eyebrows are pretty, like those are pretty similar. But it definitely changed her face. Her nose is different. So that's up to you if you're wanting to use that. But the option is there. And if I'm not mistaken, everyone has access. Oh, no, it's pro. So image upscaler is a pro feature. You would not be able to use that if you have the free version of Silhouette Studio. I mean, free version of Canva. All right. So it's time to go. It's been an hour and 42 minutes, and you guys have once again gotten quiet on me. I mean, man, sometimes I'm just like, I just don't know. I really thought that there would be more responses to the fact that I removed that whole background using edit points, and you guys said nothing. That was cool. That was awesome. Great job. Hey, I guess that wasn't very impressive to you guys, but it's okay. It's still a learning moment. There's going to be a time where you need that information and you're going to have to remember this video and come back to it to kind of see that it is possible, and then, or go back to your classes where we went over edit points and then kind of work through it. It's okay though. It's okay if you didn't find it impressive today. All right. But hopefully there was something that you got out of this with designing. Even though I didn't show the text in Canva, you saw, you bring the picture in and you would do the same thing like you would, like I showed in Silhouette Studio. You're going to find where you initiate text. You're going to bring that in. You're going to type it out. You're going to fill it in with some color. You're going to change the font. Same thing with Photoshop. You would go to the text tool, click on there, type it out, change all those things, click on it to rescale it up. But you can do additional things in Photoshop, like blur off the edges, because I didn't mean to show that. So something that you can do in Photoshop that you cannot do in any of the other ones is to take this, and I'm going to duplicate this one because it technically won't, the background will come back how this is. So I'm going to apply layer mask, and I'm going to add a new layer mask. I'm going to go to my brush. We're going to switch it to black. Black conceals, white reveals. And you'll be able to feather off the bottom. Okay. So there's that. So that's a different enhancement. Canva, Silhouette, there is no real option. Canva kind of sort of has it because there is this app that's called, hold on, let's go to apps real quick. And is it no image blender, I think is what it is. Wait a minute now. Did they get rid of it? Hold up. Okay, apps. Blend. Okay, there we Okay, wait. Did they get rid of the image? Hello? Why do apps keep going away? Okay, there's that one. But did they get rid of the image blender? Okay, no, there it is. I was like, wait a minute now. And I'm gonna go radial. And then you got to do all this stuff. And so you have the radial one. You also have a linear one. And the linear one to me sometimes acts a little funky. But I would save that and see now the bottom is slightly blended off. And it's not so harsh. Probably could have did a little bit better, but you do have that in Canva. You don't have that in Silhouette Studio. You have that in Photoshop, okay? All right, so thank you guys so very much. Remember, we have classes galore, okay? You can get to them from our shop site. You can also go directly to the Academy site, 365 Creative Academy. You go into all courses. You can search for a certain course or go through them. We have Essentials of Studio. We have Essentials of Photoshop. We have Understanding Canva 101. And then there's classes for party favors, memorial designs. So where you're wanting to kind of see some different types of memorial designs, I don't just teach pearly gates and heaven and wings and things of that nature, how to make effective designs with just text. And even when you're using pictures where it's not your typical type design, we go over that. So there is a memorial designing class on our Academy. There's one for party favors. There's a class to learn how to cut and create foam board projects. There is, like you see the one there for greeting cards and how to print double-sided. There are sublimation seminars. There's so much. There's text effects classes. There's so much to offer on our Academy. There is no one-time membership. You just get access to everything. You choose the classes that you need at that time because they're always going to be there. You will have lifetime access to the playbacks. So, choose wisely and that you're not overwhelming yourself with a bunch of different classes, okay? All right. Until next time, guys, I am in awe of how knowledgeable you are. It's practice. This is something that I am dedicated to, and I make sure that I'm always up on my skills. I learned a lot of this stuff without pressure, without the pressure of business. And so that made it to where I was just free to really, really embrace learning. And I advocate that for everyone. I know we want to, kind of have extra to make ends meet and things of that nature, or, build our own business, not work for someone, but you have to start somewhere. Even if you take a year where it's like, it's not that serious for you, you're learning the things that you need. You're investing in the classes like our creative business program to learn about marketing and branding and what that really means, how to leverage social media, how to leverage Etsy, how to communicate, how to create actual descriptions, how to price, how to package, determining like what your brand represents. If it's luxury, what do you need to include in the experience for your customer if you're saying you have a luxury, high-end, high-cost brand? There's just so much that you can learn even before you're ready to go full on. Making the decision to go full on into business is not where you want to learn it. I mean, on-the-job training is cool, but if you can get some of that knowledge about taxes, about buying low to sell high, those things that really make a difference in business. The earlier you expose yourself to that type of information, when you are in the trenches, you won't feel like you are drowning, because trying to figure out the back end business side and you're still trying to figure out new craft things and new skills, it will drive you crazy, because there's not enough hours in the day to simultaneously learn everything for both sides of that. So the sooner you make the decision to get into a class, even if it's just kind of to take notes and have them, and store them away for when you're ready to apply them, and just learning how to properly apply them, invest in a class for business as soon as possible. As soon as you make that decision to even pursue entrepreneurship and turning what you have into a profitable side hustle or a sustainable business, get into those trainings. We have one. All right. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. What's the name of what again? I'm sorry. I did my closeout and I happened to look down to see that. What's the name of what? Because that kind of came out of left field. So what's the name of what? Because the Facebook ones do go after 30 days, so you won't be able to come back to this one. So I'd rather answer it now. What is the name of what? Okay, not fast enough for me. I got to go. Until next time, peace. I'll answer it if I see it in the chat, okay? Peace.